I would like to show my ultimate respect to the greatly merciful and the greatly compassionate Guan Bodhisattva. I would like to thank Master Jun Hong Lu for all his hard work to propagate Buddhism and for leading me to Guan Yin City Dharma door. Thank you very much for giving me this chance to share my story. My name is Alain Uboldi. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, which is not a place where you would expect a lot of people to practice Buddhism. I would like to share my story explaining why I become a practitioner of the Guan Yin City Dharma door. My sharing is based on fairly minor events and may not be comparable to the wonderful stories shared by many others who recover from awful sickness such as cancer. My wife is a Malaysian Chinese. For about 2.5 years ago, she started to pray fairly often in the house, and I asked why she did so. Although she had always respected Buddhism, she never prayed as often. She mentioned that a friend of ours told her to pray and recite Buddhist scriptures, which would help her solve her sleep problem, and she had difficulty sleeping for the last 6 to 7 years. She explained to me that Guan Yin Citta Dharma door has helped a lot of people overcome incurable sickness such as cancer. After a little while, she encouraged me to pray with her, as it would help me with my senile disease. I was raised in the Catholic family, but didn't believe in any religion since. When my wife asked me to pray, I was not very keen, as I have not prayed for more than 40 years. However, I think it would not hurt to try to pray and chant in order to help my wife with her sleep problem. I was not the sincerest believer, but since I had retired, I had a lot of time to chant. Moreover, I do not speak Chinese, and virtually all the teaching of Guan Yin Citta Dharma door are in Chinese. However, we could find several books from Master Lu as well as scripture translated into English. I started to learn the Heart Sutra using the word I could associate with my knowledge of English, French, and Italian. It sounds funny to you, but that was the best way for me to learn the sutra. It took me about 1 month to learn it and recite it, probably with a terrible accent, to pay my respect to Guan Yin Bodhisattva. I'm pretty sure that Guan Yin Bodhisattva understand the difficulty for foreigners trying to show their devotion and would forgive them for the lack of knowledge of Chinese. During my practice, I had 3 specific events that are associated with Guan Yin Citta Dharma door. First, I saw a cloud in the shape of Guan Yin Bodhisattva meditating. I was surprised because the appearance of the cloud bore a perfect resemblance of Guan Yin Bodhisattva. Secondly, one night, I woke up in a wonderful smell that I had in my dream. It did carry on after I woke up. I told my wife if she poured some perfume on my pillow, and she denied it. As I was speaking to her, the scent disappeared. She asked if the perfume was similar to sandalwood, and I told her I never smelled sandalwood, so I couldn't tell. Later, I happened to smell sandalwood, which was exactly the same scent. Finally, we live in a house in Las Vegas where it is fairly common to have a few dead insects in the house and even more in the garage. As I love to travel, we had a few trips. After one trip, I was surprised to find no dead insect on the floor. I did not pay much attention until the next trip, which happened to be the same. I finally realized Guan Yin Bodhisattva had taken care of the house inside and out, as all the spider web disappeared from our garden. The most significant event was the complete disappearance of the ants from our house. A man for pest control service told us that our house was built on an anthill and we were bound to have ants in our house. Well, they were all gone for more than a year now. my deep gratitude to Guan Bodhisattva. These three events might sound minor to you, but they had a great effect on me, and I decided to keep on praying a little more and start to learn the great compassion mantra. My wife was visiting Little House for her karmic creditors. She strongly suggested that I should do the same. She was very encouraging, as the time it took to visit a little house seemed impossible to me. I was very slow reciting all the 4 scriptures in the little houses. The least I can say, I was not very keen on doing it. One day, as my chronic allergy was even worse than usual, my wife strongly suggested that I should start a little house, and it didn't matter how much time I needed. I told her I would try. Please understand that my allergy was not the average one that a lot of people complain about. I could sneeze very heavily up to 40 times in a row. I had trouble breathing with my eyes completely shut and I couldn't do anything. I told her it would take too long and I had already chanted enough with my daily recitation. The second day, my sneezing got worse and she repeated that I should really try to chant little houses. I promised her that I would do it, then my sneezing stopped immediately at that moment. I told her I will try tomorrow if I didn't sneeze in the morning, which was the worst time of the day for my allergy. The next day, I had only 2 sneezes, and I truly believed that Little House could cure my violent sneezing. Soon, I asked my wife how to recite Little Houses. It was a miracle. This year, I went through the whole spring without a sneeze, and believe me, it's wonderful. Needless to say, I spent a lot more time reciting scripture after that. I'm also suffering from very strong heartburn leading to vomiting and diarrhea at least once a week. I had consulted several doctors and they did quite a few analyses, colonoscopy and so on. Thankfully, they didn't find any cancer, but very strong irritation in my stomach. The doctor gave me some pills to solve the problem and it worked for a while. But then it stopped working and caused very high blood pressure. My problem was that I was fearful of vomiting and diarrhea anytime, as I couldn't control it. I expressed my deep gratitude to the great Merciful and the great compassionate Guan Bodhisattva, as I am now virtually cured and I can eat almost everything without fear of vomiting or diarrhea. My wife and I have been married for nearly 30 years, and we used to fight for trivial matters. Now, not only our fight is completely gone, but when one of us gets angry, we know how to calm down immediately, and I have learned how to control my temper, stop cursing, and getting angry all the time. I feel that I am now under the protection of Guan Bodhisattva. Following Master Lu teaching, my wife and I decided to make a vow not to kill or even hurt any animals, meaning that I had to quit one of my hobbies, fishing. Although I released the fish after I caught them most of the time, I realized that the fish would be hurt with the hook in their mouths. It was a big vow for me, and I have stuck to it for more than 2 years. I'm now performing much more recitation than before, as being retired gives me more free time to recite little houses for my karmic creditor. I'm fully aware that compared to most of stories you have heard, such as treating cancer and other horrible illness, my experience pale in comparison. However, I would like you to understand that what happened to me made me very firm believer of Guan Yin Citta Dharma and Master Lu. I deem chanting as the most relaxing time of my life. I even start to enjoy traffic jam when I drive, as it gives me more time to chant scripture. I do not believe in Guan Yin. If you do not believe in Guan Yin Citta Dharma, please believe it now, and do not delay your recitation. Initially, my purpose of chanting was to help my wife with her illness. However, with Bodhisattva, mercifulness and compassion, my own illnesses, allergy and acid reflux have been cured. Master Lu has always been right when he told us to sacrifice ourselves, do not be selfish, be helpful, kind and respect other people. My deep gratitude to Guan Bodhisattva, Master Lu and the Dharma protector, and everybody that listened to my sharing. I beg forgiveness from the Bodhisattva and the Dharma protector if there is anything inappropriate in my sharing.